Camera stream, are we set?
You said 2 minutes.
Okay. We are set. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to the press briefing preceding the inauguration of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria President and the investiture of new fellows of the society. I will start by introducing the president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, who was elected at the last PSN National Conference held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, on November 8, 2024. He was sworn in that day, but by our tradition, we fixed another date for the inauguration of the president. And apart from the inauguration, we also used that same date to do investiture of new fellows of the society. As usual, because Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, we understand the importance of the press. So we always choose every opportunity to interact with the press, and as a new president to be inaugurated soon by next week, we invited you to this event where the new president is going to address you and give some information, concerning the activities of the society. At the end of his speech, you will have the opportunity to make comments and ask questions, which the president will, as the spokesperson for the society, will respond to. So thank you. The new president of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria is pharmacist Ayuba Tanko Ibrahim, a fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, and a retiree of NNPC. So he's well experienced, and in fact, it's a big asset to PSN. So apart from, I'm sitting by on his right side is our National Publicity Secretary, pharmacist Lizette, Ezenekwe. Did I get the pronunciation right? Okay. So Njideka, Ezenekwe. And like I told you, the ceremony that we are planning for next week on February 28, 2025, there is a committee that is putting this together, to ensure that we have a itch-free and a memorable event, on Friday, 28th of February, 2025. And that committee is being chaired by no other person than pharmacist Victor Afolabi. You are welcome. And other members of the committee, we have protocol. You want to introduce yourself? Chairman protocol. Anyway, other members of the committee, other members of the committee, we have pharmacist Fuluka Keniraye and then pharmacist Emeribe, present here. So I will ask the members of the press. And then we have our amiable PA to the president, pharmacist Issa Muhammad, also seated. So I will allow the press crew to introduce themselves before the president gives his address. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I think I'm a known face to the house, but I still have to introduce myself. I'm Temitope Obayendo, online editor of Pharma News.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the new president. Congratulations to the new administration and even the planning committee. We are happy to meet every one of you. My name is Chioma Umeha. I write for independent newspapers. I'm also a columnist. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chioma Obina. I write for Vanguard newspapers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joy Ken Abakuya. I work with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Good morning, sir. My name is Biodun from the NTA.
Good morning, all.
My name is Biodun from the NTA.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, all. My name is Tunde Akibu. I work with AIT.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Stanley Ogidi from The Punch.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ijoma Wanosike, The Guardian newspaper.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Temitayo Oladende. I write for Business Day.
You can sit in front. Drop the
There's somebody behind you.
Don't worry, just sit in front. Are you introduce yourself? And just drop the back on the ground.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. I'm so sorry for coming late. My name is Roya Ibe. I write for Leadership newspapers.
Leadership, okay.
Yes.
Good morning, gentlemen of the press, my colleagues. It's my honor and privilege to host the gentlemen of the press at this maiden press conference by the new president of PSN. I must start by commending the distinguished Fourth Estate of the Realm for the massive support you have extended to my predecessors, which I strongly solicit in the spirit of traditional collaboration. This press conference will address a few contemporary matters, including 1, amendment of the Fake Drug Act by the National Assembly. 2, improved governance structure in the pharmaceutical sector. 3, the President's inauguration ceremony and the investiture of new fellows, 145 new fellows of PSN. Amendment of the Fake Drug Act by the National Assembly. As far back as 1988, the Federal Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, carried out studies on the prevailing drug distribution situation in Nigeria. The World Health Organization studies revealed that 33% of drugs in circulation in Nigeria were fake, and 7% of this quantity was fatal on consumption. This led to the promulgation of Nigeria's first law on fake, counterfeit, and wholesome food substances via Decree 21 of 1988, which was amended by Decree 17 of 1989. In 1998, 10 years after a review exercise by the Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Lagos, gave more startling revelation. At that time, 49.6% of fake drugs were traceable to open drug markets, and 32% were directed or traced to the doorsteps of patent medicine vendors. 12.8% of the fake drug incidences led to fatalities, while 10.8% ended in therapeutic failure. The late Dora Akunyili of blessed memory gave some hope and respite, as it appeared there was a significant drop in fake drug incidences between 2001 and 2008 when she held sway at NAFDAC.
The influx of the fake drugs, food, and especially drinks in Nigeria has become a major source of worry in contemporary times. Our usually reliable and dependable research-based efforts indicate that we are back to the days of over 50% of drugs in circulation being fake and substandard, as against the official figures hovering between 13% and 15%. At the closing stages of the 1999 transition, the Fake Drug Act was entrenched in the status, but this has not been substantially activated in recent times. One of the most positive outputs of the new cadre at NAFDAC was the landmark collaboration with the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria in January 2024 to seal the Sabongari drug market immediately after the first coordinated wholesale centers in Nigeria was officially launched in Kano State. For the records, the coordinated wholesale centers are the well-regulated drug centers that are designed to replace open drug markets under the National Drug Distribution Guidelines, which was released 10 years ago in 2015. It is in the spirit of such collaboration that we desire to save consumers of health from the almost 5 million unregistered drug selling outfits. 5 million unregistered drug selling outfits, which dot both the rural and urban centers in Nigeria. The National Assembly must, as a matter of urgency, amend the existing Fake Drug and Unwholesome Food Act to become a much more potent act of parliament. Apart from the dangers which Nigerians are familiar with in the case of fake drugs, the fake drink industry is assuming a gargantuan tens of billions range of business championed by modern-day merchants of death. Our prayers. The PSN believes NAFDAC is very well on course. You are aware of what NAFDAC has been doing in the past few days. They have gone after the open drug markets and they are achieving results. So we commend the recent regulatory activities of NAFDAC in leading to the enforcement of salient laws in some prominent drug markets in the southeast and southwest areas of the country. The federal government must take more responsibility by catalyzing the full implementation of the National Drug Distribution Guidelines, which was officially commissioned in 2015. This is the only way to encourage genuine players in the drug market to relocate to the approved CWC structures in Lagos, Anambra, and Abia states, respectively. It is not a particularly good testimony that while the coordinated wholesale centers in Kano State is operational, those of these three states are yet to take off because construction of the CWC is at almost zero level. The National Assembly must go ahead to consider improved sanctions, including possible huge fines of over 20 million, not less than 20 million, life jail sentences, or even death sentences for fake drug dealers. Let it be said again and again that these fake drug dealers are de facto murderers, because anyone who tampers with life-saving commodities inherently sets out to kill ab initio. Improve governance structure in the pharmaceutical sector. In a landmark development, the federal government in 2022 enacted the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Act. For us in this sector, it epitomized one of the most significant quantum leaps in the evolution of pharmacy practice in Nigeria. It is, however, important to begin to sensitize the government at all levels that the expected benefit package to safeguard public health will not be achieved if they don't comply fully with the relevant laws. Section 22 of the PSN Act provides that any location where drugs are sold, stocked, dispensed, must be registered by the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria. It's a matter of common sense that this implies that once drug items are available in a health facility, the pharmacy must be registered by a superintendent pharmacist, Section 29 of the PSN Act. The government oftentimes is the biggest violator of its own laws because our experience reveals that less than 25% of MDAs at the federal level have registered pharmacies or pharmacists in their employment, yet they actively stock and dispense drugs to consumers of health, which is a major source of danger to these unsuspecting consumers. The impunity is spreading at an alarming rate such that even federal health institutions now advertise for health personnel and choose to ignore the employment of pharmacists, as we saw with the National Orthopedic Hospital, Bini, in a well-circulated advertisement. Healthcare is a teamwork. You have a complement of professionals, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, physiotherapists, etc. You advertise you want to employ health workers. You remove pharmacists from it. So I don't know how you are going to have a holistic healthcare system without the pharmacists. The impunity. No. In the last few days, we have observed that health workers were approved to man some health facilities in correctional centers in Nigeria. But again, these centers will stock drugs were not placed to engage pharmacists in what is a major distortion of an ideal health service dispensation. For those of you who may not remember, correctional centers used to be called prisons. They have hospitals. They advertise for employment of hospital workers. They didn't advertise for pharmacists. So since they stock drugs, I don't know who is going to handle the drugs. And pharmacists are the only experts on drugs. And they are the ones licensed to dispense, stock the drugs. You can see the anomaly. The PSN believes that the foundation of these illogicalities was gradually laid and consolidated in the last 10 years at the Federal Ministry of Health, which has systematically decimated the status, role, and significance of pharmacists who are no longer invited to even stakeholder consultations in the health sector. As recently as about a month ago, a good program from the Honorable Minister of Health on some internship for youth in the health sector, they listed every health professional minus the pharmacists. And there was an announcement for an engagement at the Ministry of Health with the Honorable Minister of Health. They invited every cadre of health worker. They didn't invite the pharmacists. This is not coincidence. It is a deliberate act. And to be fair to the Honorable Minister, I'm not blaming him for this. He may not even know that some people working with him have such an agenda. So the earlier he takes notes, the better, so that things will be put correctly. The PSN believes that we shall subsequently take this challenge up with the concerned authorities in a bid to protect public health and the requisite safety nets inherent in the indiscriminate, poor, and wretched drug use and management, which are palpable fallouts of these misnomers. The presidential inauguration ceremony and the investiture of 145 new PSN fellows. The inauguration of the PSN president and the investiture of 145 new fellows of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria will be held on Friday, February 28, 2025 at Ladi Kwali Hall at Abuja Continental Hotel from 4 p.m. Our new fellows are a careful mix of public and private sector players, including serving members of the National Assembly, chief executive officers of government parastatals, and other key pharmaceutical manufacturing companies, as well as other captains of industry. The impressive list includes 4 distinguished personnel of the armed forces, who are the equivalent of generals. I have the names of the fellows, which I don't think time will not allow me to mention the names, but when we give you a copy, you'll see the names of all the fellows listed there. In conclusion, let me inform you that Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria will be 100 years in 2027. So we are the oldest professional body with evidence to show for it. Our registration documents are there to show that we were registered in 2027. So we shall be 100 years. We were registered in 1937. 1927. 27, yeah. March. Yeah. So we shall be 100 years in 2 years' time. So the honor fell on me to be the centenary president. And I don't take it lightly because there can only be one centenary president in 100 years. So it's a privilege I do not joke with. So in conclusion, gentlemen of the press, I thank you once again for identifying with us today. We shall sustain our friendship and partnership for the good of our people and nation as much as possible from our side. I look forward to working with you all in the next 3 years. Thank you and God bless you.
We've had the president, before I hand over to the publicity secretary to continue with the hosting of this program. I failed to introduce myself. Okay. So, I'm pharmacist Gafar Olanrewaju Madin, the National Secretary of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Thank you. So, hand over to the publicity secretary.
Thank you, my National Secretary. Thank you, my President, for a wonderful speech. I want to also appreciate you all for being here. I don't know if we have something to ask. Okay. We are going to share the documents immediately after this, so you have the appropriate documents to work with for your reports. Do we have any comments from the speech so we can take them before we go on? Yes, as I will give you.
Okay.
We'll give you. We'll have it.
Okay. Congrats, Mr. President. My name is Shoma Obina, like I said before. I have a clarification. You talked about how pharmacists have been somehow, will I say, shortchanged or not included in orthopedic hospital Benin and federal government engagements of internship. And one other one, I don't know. There are 3. Correctional centers. I want to know, apart from coming to talk to the press about it, what you have done about it and what you intend to do about it. And again, this is the first time we're meeting you. We would like you to tell us what you're bringing on the table. What difference are you going to make, in terms of PSN activities and in the drug war in Nigeria today, like what NAFDAC is doing now, and how far is the PSN also involved in the activities? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Like I said during my press conference, after lamenting, I also said that we have written and reached out to those authorities concerned to register our protests. And I can tell you that we have reached the highest level in terms of trying to get it corrected. And we have been giving assurances that they will correct it. But like I said, is the minister may not even be aware that somebody below him is doing that. It's an agenda by certain people, which by the grace of God, we shall overcome. So we have already done what we are supposed to do. So we expect a change in heart and change in action. What I will do differently, well, leadership is a continuum. We have a college of past presidents who very well and respect. All our presidents, after they have finished their tenure, they become like an oracle for us. Living ancestors, that's what we call them. So if you are the current president, it behoves on you to contact them and consult them once in a while to show you the way. But it doesn't also mean that you don't have your own way of wanting to do something different. So before we were elected, we told pharmacists what we would do and what we would do different. And based on that, they elected us. And by the grace of God, we shall implement it to the letter. So this is not my campaign platform for me to start telling you this is what I will do different, this is what I will do different. But they are well documented. And by the grace of God, we shall implement them. Thank you.
Thank you. I saw someone, you were trying to say something. Wait.
To amend the Fake Drug Act and not more potent, effective laws to address the issues you mentioned, and how can the pharmacists, your association, collaborate, with other healthcare, workers, professionals. You were talking about, pharmacists, being in the center, very crucial in the delivery of healthcare services. So we want you to recommend how, the role, defining it, how they are supposed to relate with other professionals. Then what are the key factors, contributing to fake drugs in the country, foods and drinks, and how can this be addressed?
Thank you very much. The first part of your question has to do with collaboration with other health care workers. Healthcare, by its nature, is a teamwork. All over the world, healthcare is a teamwork. When you're a patient, you go to the hospital, you see the medical records officer, you see the nurse, you see the doctor, you go to the lab for tests, and finally, you go to the pharmacy to collect your drugs, and the pharmacist will counsel you before you go home. So you can see that everybody plays a role. And if you need surgery, you have to go to the surgeons, and so on and so forth. So everybody in the healthcare value chain is important. Everybody in the healthcare value chain is important. But the most important person in the whole system is the patient. The patient is the most important person when you go to the hospital. All of us are working for the patient. But we have a situation where in Nigeria, certain professionals in the health sector assumed importance over all other professionals. And they act and behave as if the rest are working for them. That's what is causing the disharmony. But if they imbibe the concept of teamwork and understand that we are in a team and we have a common goal, that's the welfare and health of the patient, this rivalry and disharmony will disappear. So we have always been friendly. Pharmacists are nice people. And we are always friendly. And we have always reached out to other health professionals in the health sector. We don't have any chip on our shoulders. We are straightforward. We are free. So anybody we extend hand of friendship to and he accepts, we'll work together. And anybody who thinks he can oppress us, we shall resist him. That's how we are. So what's the next part of your question?
The next part is about the fake drugs.
Yeah. Well, we don't only make demands, we act. Before we said that the National Assembly should amend the Fake Drug Act, we have made some inputs and submitted, and we are following up for them to do the right thing. So rest assured that this matter will be taken up by the National Assembly, and because of what is happening recently, as an outcome of what NAFDAC is doing, everybody in Nigeria is seeing what is happening in those markets. All these drinks, what do they call them? Non-alcoholic juices. They manufacture them in the market with unwholesome water. Some of them are not, are even using poisonous chemicals. So if you're a Nigerian and you are conscious of what the death this thing can cause and the damage, you can see that recently there's a lot of kidney failure. It can all be traced to all these fake products they are selling. So it is not only on drugs, food and drinks. They are all faking them. So the National Assembly are also Nigerians, and they have conscience. They see what is happening. So I want to believe we shall collaborate to ensure that the law is amended to make it more effective and have teeth to bite. Yeah, this is a catch-9 situation. Nigeria is a different country when it comes to such issues. We have very good laws. For example, now, since 2015, the National Drug Distribution Guidelines was promulgated by the federal government and released. So by now, you would have expected that we don't have any open drug markets because it's stated there. We have what we call what do you call it? This CWCs. Coordinated wholesale centers where bulk drugs are supposed to be sold. Wholesalers will go there and buy, and then they'll go and retail. But you still find open drug markets in every market. And the government is watching. The police are watching. If not that, NAFDAC took the bull by the horns and started doing something. If this thing would have continued. And don't make a mistake. These people behind the open drug markets are very powerful. They are very powerful and rich. And they can reach many places to stop whatever action is taken against them. But we pray that NAFDAC will sustain the onslaught so that at the end of the day, sanity will prevail in the drug distribution space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Temitayo from Business Day. Recently when the DG of NAFDAC was interviewed on channels, so she was asked about why just any drugs can be procured over the counter in Nigeria. And she mentioned the fact that there is a role that PSN has to play in that area. And she mentioned that there are actually millions of patent medicine dealers licensed in the country. And so I want to ask that if we have millions, should we actually have millions of patent medicine sellers? And like you have mentioned in your comment that some of these fake drugs can be traced to open markets and patent medicine sellers. So what are you doing to really regulate? Do we need millions of patent medicine sellers in the country?
I think you are referring to Pharmacy Council of Nigeria instead of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. There are two different things. The Pharmacy Council is the regulatory body. It's a government organization. They regulate all aspects having to do with pharmacy in Nigeria. We are a professional body of pharmacists. We are a pressure group. When anything happening to our pharmacy, our profession we don't like, we talk and we take actions to correct them. So we work together. So I agree. It's one of my campaign mantra is that we'll reduce the number of patent medicine stores. Patent medicine shops or stores are supposed to be in rural areas where there are no pharmacies. You can't live, they say nature abhors a vacuum. If you are in the rural area and there's no pharmacy there, definitely you have to provide them somebody who will be selling drugs to them. And normally patent medicine dealers are supposed to be people with at least a minimum of secondary school education who can read and write and who can stock certain drugs. They are not supposed to open any bottle of drug to dispense. They are supposed to sell the drug the way it came in the container. And there are some class of drugs they are not supposed to stock at all. But in Nigeria, when you give them, they say give them an inch, they take a yard. Give them a yard, they take a mile. When you give them a list of drugs they can stock, they go ahead and stock everything. They go ahead and start dispensing. They go ahead and start selling poisons. They go ahead and start selling illicit drugs. But their initial license say, this is so far and how far you can go. But they exceed it. But there's periodic inspection by the PSN. They go around, you have inspectors, they go around, anybody who falls foul of the law, they seal his premises. That's for those who have been registered by PSN. The highest number, the majority, they are not even registered by PSN. They don't seek registration with anybody. They just get a shop, they open, put drugs and start selling. And they are not answerable to anybody. And they are very, 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 very powerful in the Nigerian context. In the Nigerian context, they are very powerful. If you attempt to dislodge them, they fight back. So it's up to the authorities. We have done our own. We have pointed out the problems. NAFDAC has brought it out to open for everybody to see. PSN, they have a list of those they have registered. So they have People have no business opening drug. See, people see drug as an item of trade. Nigerians look at drugs as an item of trade. The way you go and buy sugar and sell, the way you go and buy tomatoes and sell, that's how many Nigerians look at drugs. Drugs, all drugs are poisons. All drugs are poisons, and all poisons are drugs. I don't believe any country will willingly allow people to be selling poisons if they know that it is poison. So we are telling you today that all drugs are poisons. And the only people trained, educated, and licensed to handle drugs are pharmacists. So for the safety of the society, for the safety of our patients and Nigerians, if you want to buy drugs at all, please go to a pharmacy where you have a pharmacy symbol with a registered pharmacist in attendance to buy your drugs. That way, you'll be safe. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you for that. What I want to ask is close to what she asked earlier. I want to ask how the departure of companies like GSK, Sanofi, has how they have helped to fuel these fake drugs that we have in the country, and what are the recommendations you have in order to salvage the situation? Thank you. All over the world, not only Nigeria, when a desired item suddenly becomes scarce, they will fake it. And fakers are all over the world. It's a syndicate, international. The moment an item which is desired goes out of circulation, they will fake it. So, and the more expensive the item, the more they fix. No faker will go and waste his time faking paracetamol. They always go for high-value drugs. So the economy is in some... Is it trouble? I would say no. We are in a transition in the economy. Things will improve by the grace of God. But while things are at now, some companies cannot stand the heat. So they are withdrawing and run away. I'm assuring you, they will come back. They will come back. And by the time they come back, their places will have been taken by those who believe in Nigeria. And they will now start begging to get their foothold. I'm assuring you. So if the local manufacturer in Nigeria starts thriving, will it in any way deter these speakers? Definitely. Because if many companies in Nigeria are producing these drugs, and the economy improves and the drugs are not that expensive, people will be buying the genuine ones. And one thing about faking, but I don't know why Nigerians have this mentality. You go to buy a genuine drug, they tell you it's 500 naira. You go to another pharmacy, they say it's 500 naira. Then you go somewhere, they tell you 200 naira. And you say, you buy. Something should tell you something is wrong. How can all pharmacists be selling the drug at 500 naira? And somebody wants to sell it to you at 200 naira, and you are comfortable buying it. Something should tell you that this cannot be true. So, but Nigerians I don't know whether it's the poverty situation in the country, but the moment they see cheap ones, that's what they will buy. Sometimes they will travel far to go and buy the cheap one. Meanwhile, it may not be genuine. So, if you have a pharmacy near you and you have been buying from them and you are sure they sell genuine drugs, try as much as possible to ask for money and buy there so that you'll be safe.
Okay, well done, sir, Mr. Sorry, sir. Well done, Mr. President, for your activities since you came on board. Okay, concerning the activities of NAFDAC, I want to know in what way has pharmacists been involved? Some pharmacists have said in some quarters, that there should be the constitution of the National Task Force on counterfeiting of drugs. Has that been inaugurated? If not, what is PSN doing? And there is this other thing they call Pharmaceutical Inspectorate Commission. I can't figure it out now. How far? What is happening concerning that? Sorry for my voice.
Thank you very much for your question. Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, NAFDAC, PSN. We are all pharmacists. And we are all working towards the same goal. So we collaborate a lot. So whatever NAFDAC is doing, we are in the know. We give them support. Whatever PCN is doing, we're in the know. And we give them support. And whatever we are doing, we carry them along and they give us support. So our work and relationship is that of collaboration and win-win. So whatever NAFDAC is doing, no pharmacist in Nigeria can say he associates himself with them. We are together. Whatever they do, we own it. Of course, majority of the staff in NAFDAC are pharmacists. Just like majority of the staff in PCN are pharmacists. Just like everybody in PSN is a pharmacist. So, anytime you hear drug or medicine, think of pharmacists. It's our job. So if you see anybody in that space, the person is an interloper or intruder. Yeah, true. Yeah, they are statutory. Yeah, they are statutory. They are statutory. They are supposed to be going out periodically for inspection. They do. Even yesterday, somebody called me from Abuja asking me to intervene, that they are going to seal his pharmacy. I say, that's your cup of tea. How can you expect me, the president, to intervene when they are sealing your premises, when you have fallen foul of the law? I told him I will not intervene. And I left him. And they sealed the premises. You can't be saying we want to sanitize the pharmaceutical space, and when the inspectors are carrying out their duty, we now start to intervene the Nigerian way. Because you know somebody, you reach out to you to go and stop it. I don't do that.
Okay, sir. My name is Roya. So I know you've touched it. You said, made sure that NAFDAC, which last year raided open drug in Kano. But we also have a regulated market in Lagos, in Aba, and I think Anambra State. Why have they not raided open markets? I know you touched it, but I didn't get it. Why have they not raided those markets?
They are right now on it. In fact, about two weeks ago, I paid a courtesy call with my team to the NAFDAC DG. While we were having that meeting, the action was taking place in the East. And they were calling the DG and giving her periodic reports. And the government is giving NAFDAC the full backing. Because unless you get rid of open drug market, you can never get rid of the issue of fake and adulterated drugs. Drugs are not tomatoes you go and be selling in the market now. Like I said, they are poisonous items. So pharmacists who are trained in it and manufacture it and dispense it know how to handle it and how to distribute it and how to dispense it. So you can't allow everybody to just go and start selling drugs in the market. By the way, it's not only in Nigeria. I want to believe with this government, we'll see the end of the open drug market.
So this is my last question. After the recent onslaught, what we've seen is very big personalities coming out to say that NAFDAC should not seal innocent traders. They should not seal their shop alongside with those who are culprits. And this is coming from a very significant personality. That's Peter Obi. So I wanted to ask that, what's your suggestion about having also strong personalities coming out to speak in favor of this onslaught? Probably to just, because it's out there and it's big on the media and people are supporting and giving credit to that idea that this fake drug, this thing should be more, it should be precisive. They call it precision targeting, that they should not, and they say the market is a big place and many of these fake drug people are nesting inside those markets alongside with people who are trading in other parts. So I just wanted to ask you what you think about that, and should you also have strong personalities also pushing out your own thoughts on fake drugs?
Yeah, the moment you send another strong personality to engage him, it becomes political. The person is a politician. So the moment you send somebody to go and start countering him, it will turn political. But this is not a political matter at all. This is a matter of life and death. People's lives are being damaged, their kidneys are being damaged, their livers are being damaged, because of this open drug market. So I want to believe he's not properly educated on what is happening. I give him that excuse. He's not properly educated on what is happening. If he's properly educated and he understands the dangers this open drugs market are causing to the health of his own people, he wouldn't be saying that. So when we have opportunity, we shall pay him a courtesy call and engage him so that he will understand better what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you, my president. A round of applause again. I think that was a wonderful answer. Yes, we've come to the end of this question time. I think we want to appreciate you all for your comments and for making out time to be here with us. And I also want to appreciate, especially my president, for being timely and very explanatory in his answers given to our comments. I also saw our ACPN National Chairman, Pharmacist Ambrose Eze. He just came in while we were talking, and the secretary and some other members of the committee. We are also using this opportunity to invite us again to the inauguration that is happening on the 28th of February at the Intercontinental Hotel in Abuja. Your presence will also make sure that we have a wonderful occasion. Thank you again for your time, and may God bless us as we end this. Thank you.
Because I'm an elect member.
How are you, sir? How are you, sir? The chairman himself. Let's go outside.